Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and allow me first to thank the Jailer Committee and the chairmanship of Honorable Murugara George, alias Sir George, for being very committed to the process of the vetting process of Bishop Oginde. Honorable Speaker, also allow me to support this report following the vetting of Bishop David Adang Oginde. Honorable Speaker, let me say I have known Bishop Oginde as a very balanced leader when he led CITAM and an active commentator of current affairs. And I remember his not very popular speech at Bomas of Kenya during the BBI debate, when he called on us and the country to slow down when we were being told the train has left the station. And as a good man of the Lord, he prevailed on the political class to probably slow down the train and stop at many stops to pick up many passengers. And as I congratulate him on his nomination and ask the House to support his appointment as the chair of EACC, Honorable Speaker, I want to speak to Bishop Oginde and tell him he has a huge responsibility ahead of him. The Reverend Wabukala has done his bit when he steered the commission through the years that he served as the chair of EACC. But Bishop Oginde, being younger and I must say more focused, has a huge responsibility to ensure that, one, he steers the governance role of the commission to ensure that the Secretariat is given the space to manage EACC and lead in the fight against corruption. Going through the report, Honorable Speaker, I have seen his views on the separation of the management and governance roles of the board of EACC, or rather the commission, in its governance role, and that of the Secretariat in managing the day-to-day affairs of EACC. And I appreciate that he recognizes that he's not coming to micromanage the work of the Secretariat, and he will work to ensure that there is proper governance. And we are talking about a man, Honorable Speaker, who has been a presiding bishop of a good church in the city, and therefore he has the skills and administrative skills to be able to ensure that there are proper governance structures. And I want to encourage him to instill the same discipline even within the commission and the commission's secretariat. And also, Honorable Speaker, I did note his views on the question of the political interference or the weaponization of the fight against corruption. I think Bishop Oginde, having lived in this country and having known what this country has been taken through the last few years, is well appraised of how we, the political class, have weaponized the fight against corruption. And Honorable Speaker, when we weaponize the fight against corruption, we undermine and sabotage the actual fight against corruption. I want to plead to Bishop Oginde, as he steers the commission, to ensure that there are proper governance structures within the commission, that we shall no longer see the weaponization of corruption. And I am happy that he was able to speak to this issue during his vetting, that the fight against corruption, Honorable Speaker, is led by EACC as a commission and not by the political class, Honorable Speaker. And they should be free, that nobody within the political class will interfere with their work, right from the commission to the secretariat, that they will be allowed to do their work without any undue interference from the political class, and more so from the government side. And I'm happy His Excellency the President has indeed spoken on the fight against corruption and said, we will not just speak about fighting corruption, it will be action. And this action, I want to tell Bishop Oginde, must be led by the commission and not necessarily waiting for the political class to lead in this fight. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, it is said, Honorable Speaker, and I was just reflecting the other day on how we work in this country. that those who call others corrupt, in most instances, are usually the most corrupt. And I reflected on a time in this city, Honorable Speaker, when pickpockets would pickpocket people in the then KBS buses. And the pickpocket would run out of the bus or snatch a bag in the streets, take a run, and round some corner would turn around, and one of the people who was chasing them turn around and shout, "Mwizi, mwizi," and the crowd would move to mob justice or lynch those who are running after the thief, and the thief would join the mob in lynching an innocent person. Honorable Speaker, in the fight against corruption in this country, we must avoid that scenario of the typical Nairobi pickpocket of yesteryears, where the corrupt are the ones pointing fingers at those who are running after them, calling them the corrupt. And Honorable Speaker, we end up in a situation where the fight against corruption is marred by a lynch mob, and facts and issues that touch on corruption get lost in the midst. Honorable Speaker, only yesterday we are reading in the newspapers work that is being done by a joint committee of the Finance Committee, I think, and the ICT Committee. And I've seen today a report in one of the dailies, somebody who carted away 400+ million shillings in the telecom saga. He is saying he was paid for being smart. Honorable Speaker, I was left wondering, is this gentleman telling Kenyans that those who are not making 400 million shillings in the haste like that was of the telecom haste are indeed stupid or not as intelligent as it purports to be, Honorable Speaker? Honorable Speaker, as much as it's an insult to the people of Kenya, we want to say we have our own committees in this House that are working on issues that will be sent forth to EACC to investigate. And we want to encourage all our committees to indeed do what we did when I was the Vice Chair of the Public Investments Committee. When we finished with the investigation on the theft of 180 million shillings at the Youth Fund, we forwarded and made a recommendation that EACC picks up that matter, investigates and charges people. And I must commend EACC because they moved with speed and charged people in court. As unfortunate as it was that some of those who were charged again ended up losing their lives, and may the Lord rest their souls in peace, as much as they had stolen from the people of Kenya, but since they left this world. But at least EACC had done its work, and I want to ask and challenge EACC to keep tabs with what is happening in the investigative committees of this House. And I would encourage them to even second EACC officers before the Public Accounts Committee, before the Public Investments Committee, and all other committees of this House that are working on investigative tasks that touch on the loss of public funds, so that we do not spend a lot of time and they reinvent the wheel when they begin their own investigations. They can indeed collect a lot of information from committees of this House when members are interrogating witnesses and other people who appear before the committees, so that the kind of impunity we see that people loot, dry our coffers, and they can bask in the glory of our newspaper headlines telling us how intelligent they are, that they were able to cut away 400 million shillings and some billions because they think they were smarter than the rest of us, Honorable Speaker. That time will come when all these people must be held to account. And this commission, EACC, I want to believe under the stewardship of Chair Bishop Oginde, we will do its work to ensure that indeed we also encourage people in this country, Honorable Speaker, right from our children in schools. And there was a time, Honorable Speaker, in schools we would learn ethics. I'm not certain that it is part of the CBC curriculum today. But I am happy that the bishop in his vetting did dwell a lot on ethics, so that we have an ethical society where corruption is not seen as a fashionable thing, and corruption becomes something that even your own children will frown at you if you are named in corruption and not cheer you as you spend your